know about. DeVries, I'm going to just say this. I saw his double. It was a line drive, base hit to right center field. That's all it was. Except he's evidently quite fast.
He's very fast.
Because he was sliding into second base as the center fielder was picking up the ball. Like, he went from home to second before the ball even got out to the center fielder. I'm like, okay, that works. Anyway, that's what I saw. That's my scouting report from the spring breakout game. 5-2 A's. All right, a couple of other things going on out there. Cooper Kupp is now on your least favorite team, Scrabe. He does not leave the division.
I know.
He goes from the Rams to the Seahawks. Who's a Seahawks quarterback these days?
Sam Bradford.
Right. That's not bad. I got to tell you, Sam Bradford with Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith and Jigba, that has the makings of a little something there. And I think that running back they have is quite good as well. And I can't think of his name. Walker, isn't it?
It's Kenneth Walker, and they also got Charbonnet.
Charbonnet had some good games as well.
Yes,
all right, so that's the Seattle story.
I mean, I don't know
Cooper
that
Kupp going there. You don't think you're not concerned?
I'm always concerned.
Would you not rather have had him on the 49ers? I mean, the 49ers, it would seem to me, have a lot of roster openings for guys like this.
Okay.
Since you've gotten rid of the whole team.
I'm so happy that you said this.
since you've cut the entire squad.
I am living, Chris, in deja vu. Because the 49ers offseason is turning into the Padres offseason. Oh, that guy's available. Wait, he got signed for a relatively low price. We don't have the money for it.
Right.
This is ridiculous.
I was going to say, if you think the 49ers offseason has been successful, then I've got a Mick Cronin speech for you.
The delusional?
Yeah, you'd have to be delusional to think that the 49ers offseason has been successful.
I'm not thinking that.
It's been a disaster, and now you get Cooper Kupp going to one of your biggest rivals. So that was the news that came down today. The other thing is we're just begging. We're honestly in a begging mode. Since the Aztecs lost to Boise State yesterday in the first round of the Mountain West tournament, the Aztecs need to make sure that no bubble teams get into the NCAA tournament. It's just as simple as that. Earlier today, Texas lost to Tennessee.
Ding.
That was good.
Yes.
I don't know that it eliminates Texas, but it certainly would have been a big boost for Texas had they beaten Tennessee, but they did not. So that's good. Everywhere else, the top-seeded teams are winning. This is what we want.
Yes.
Auburn won today. Michigan State won today. Duke is comfortably ahead of North Carolina right now by 15 in the second half. Houston is up in the second half over BYU by 13. Look, BYU is probably in, but we need Houston to get that and clinch that number one seed because that's going to be a feather in the Aztecs' cap. So all of the things we're rooting for so far have happened. We'll just keep on, keeping our fingers crossed. Mountain West semifinals start a little later. Boise State against New Mexico. Go Lobos. Can't believe I said that.
Who are you?
I know. And what have you done with Chris Ello?
Yes.
Second game will be Colorado State, Utah State. Go Aggies. Yeah, that's not easy to say either. All right. So that kind of gets everybody caught up if you were listening to baseball. That's all that's really happened this afternoon.
Yes, we're being summoned by the people out there. That is biggest fan time.
Oh,
it's kind of strange for us to do the biggest fan.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared. I know. Yeah, I kind of.
You know what, Beatrice?
Kind of snuck up on me.
How long do you listen? No, I'm just kidding. It is biggest fan time.
Do you have the announcement?
I do.
Good,
and I thank you people because I would have forgot. So I appreciate
I totally forgot. So yeah. Very good.
Congratulations to today's biggest fan, Paul Bernstein of San Diego. Give us a call back within the next 10 minutes at 833-288-0973 and you'll qualify for a grand prize. 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a Padres game later this season. Remember to register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. Paul Bernstein of San Diego. 10 minutes starts now. Beatrice, I was just giving you a hard time.
Thank you,
It's okay.
Beatrice, though, for telling us.
I mean, we promised the biggest fan name between 5:30 and 5:35. We need to deliver.
Absolutely. No, Beatrice is right on it. I mean, as a matter of fact, if she's not doing anything for the next couple of years, maybe we could hire her as a producer.
I knew this was going to happen.
Because obviously Beatrice knows how to run the show better than our actual producer does.
Whoa.
Thank you, Beatrice.
Whoa.
Well done.
You know what? If you were any sort of host, you would ask, what do we got today on the show?
Well, I would have asked, and you wouldn't have said anything about the biggest fan.
I would have been like,
You
I
forgot
forgot
about
about
it.
fan.
All right.
Or let's not fight, Chris. We have very limited time with each other today.
Paul Bernstein, call in. You're down to 9.5 minutes. We're going to take a little break, kind of reset everything. Scraby actually put together a big five, which I think will be fun here on a Friday afternoon. So that's coming up in the next segment. Also, just a real quick note when we come back, but the Aztec women's basketball team, not the only successful San Diego area women's basketball team trying to make it to the NCAA tournament.
All right.
We'll discuss it when we return on Gwynn and Chris.
Hey, it's
But I don't want there. All right, Scrape. One thing we're about on this show is complimenting and shedding light on all of the successful teams in San Diego. And, of course, we've been talking a lot about the great performance of the Aztec women's basketball team, which advanced to the NCAA tournament, but they may not be the only ones. The UC San Diego Tritons women's basketball team, which I believe was a 5 seed in the Big West tournament, took down the number 1 team today in the semifinals.
Wow.
UCSD over Hawaii, 51-49. I saw the highlight of it. UCSD was leading by 18 points going into the fourth quarter. And Hawaii outscored them 20-2.
Ooh.
And they tied it up. And UCSD had the last shot. And Samaya Sugapong made a beautiful driving layup down the right side of the lane, flipped it off the window and in with 0.1 seconds to go.
Wow.
To win it for UCSD. And Sugapong, interestingly, was a teammate of the Aztecs, Naomi Panganiban. They both played at La Jolla Country Day for Terry Banford, and I'm sure she's quite proud of her 2 former players, both of whom are, one has led her team to the NCAAs, and another is going to go to the championship game of the Big West tomorrow on the women's side. So that would be awesome. You get 2 teams in.
Totally.
And here's the other thing. Speaking of UCSD, their men play later tonight in the semifinals of, the Big West. I think the Aztecs need to be rooting for UCSD.
Okay.
The reason is, if for some reason UCSD on the men, we're talking the men now, if for some reason UCSD does not win the Big West tournament, they might be another bubble team that could compete with the Aztecs for a spot in the NCAA tournament.
Man, that would be awesome for them if they beat the Aztecs out.
Well, I'm sorry to the Triton fans out there, but I don't necessarily want that.
I know you don't want that, but I don't want it either. I want both teams to make it, but it would be kind of awesome for a little bit of a city rivalry.
Could you imagine if the NCAA announces, or makes a note on Monday sometime? Well, it came down to 2 teams for the last spot. It was either going to go to San Diego State or UC San Diego.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
That would be crazy.
So I'm kind of hoping the Tritons, wishing them the best tonight on the men's side as they play in the Big West semifinal there. But, yeah, UCSD women, nice job. They'll play UC Davis in the women's final tomorrow. And, that would be something. We could get the Tritons and the Aztecs into the NCAA tournament.
Tritons beat the Aggies all day long, so Triton has a
well, they both had the same record in conference play.
I was talking about
I'm actually looking at something that matters. You're looking at something that's kind of silly.
Whoa. Something that matters versus something that doesn't. I think both matter.
What? The team with the more powerful mascot should win the game in your estimation?
Sometimes, yes.
So a Triton over an Aggie.
Is the Triton just the instrument? Is it the weapon, or is it
a person carrying the weapon? Is that what you're asking?
I'm looking, yes. Now that we're here. So
Triton definition I just typed in for you.
Oh, good.
Triton is a person. Triton is the son of Poseidon. And Triton is demigod of the sea.
Okay.
The lower part of his body is that of a fish.
Ugh,
I think that's more than you wanted to know, but you got it all.
Okay, now we can move on.
All right, we will move on. Scraby's got some stuff for us on a Friday night Big Five.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, Chris, before we get into it, I need to say something for one of our listeners out there. They contacted me on Twitter earlier today, and they have a really nice thing they want to do for one of their roommate and pseudo uncles. So this person's for me, Chris, at UFO Donut. Hi, Matt. My roommate and pseudo uncle, a great guy named John from Santee, is retiring today after a long time working. He always comes home after work and throws on GNC every single day for years. I was hoping, if it's not too much to ask, to give him a happy retirement shout out. He usually starts listening around 4:30, but I know that I told you 5:45. It will absolutely make him stoked beyond belief. He's a longtime loyal listener to the show and 97.3 The Fan. So happy retirement, John. That is amazing. That
Very
is
good.
awesome. And thank you for putting us on every single day when you leave work.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we would stress you out sometimes.
And now what I want to know, John, is other than from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock every day, what are you going to do? I always wonder what people who retire are going to do.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I don't want to say I'm concerned with it or anything, but
maybe UFO Donut will tell us what happens. But yeah, that is a good question. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. Probably
John, congratulations on your retirement. That's exciting.
It is.
And we're happy to, be part of it for you every single day. And, enjoy your weekend.
Yes.
Although every day it's going to be a really long weekend for you starting tonight.
On Sunday, do you think he's going to for a second think, oh, got to get ready for work tomorrow?
Yeah, right. I mean, his weekend starts tonight and it lasts forever.
Yes.
So that's the story for you, John. Very good.
Yeah. Congrats, John. I don't think I'll ever get to retire, but I'm glad you get to retire.
I don't want to ever retire. I'm in that camp.
We'll see in 20 years.
Number 5.
All right. Spring breakout game was today, and we saw the two talked about stars for the Padres minor league system, Leo DeVries and Ethan Salas. Ethan Salas went 2 for 4, although one of those was off the knob of the bat. But the other one was a legit hit. DeVries, we talked about it at the beginning of the show, hit one in the gap, got it all the way to second. Ethan Salas also had a laser of a throw to cut a runner down at second base.
Nobody is
trying to steal.
Yeah, I've heard nothing about him having
a bad arm.
Yeah.
So
a spaghetti arm. He's
legit.
He can fire.
All right, Chris, here's the question. Who impressed you more, Ethan Salas or Leo DeVries?
Well, I haven't seen enough of Ethan Salas to be blown away.
Okay.
And I've only seen Leo DeVries bat one time. But that was enough to make me more impressed with him. Because, as I said earlier, he got a base hit to right center field, and he was standing on second base before the center fielder got the ball.
Both of us were like, was that an optical illusion?
I mean, the Sammy goes, well, he's in there with a double. I'm like, well, I figured the ball would be off the wall or at least near the warning track.
No,
it was just a single to right center field, but he had a double because he can fly.
He can fly.
So I'm gonna go with DeVries, but
okay,
it's early in the balloting.
It's very early in the balloting, you're right. Yeah. But if we're basing it on today's game, I think I got to go with Ethan Salas because that throw impressed me enough to be very excited about the catching position for the Padres in the future. But as Chris said, very early on in the process.
Number 4.
ESPN put out a story today about Brave star Ronald Acuna Jr. and his plans to stay healthy going forward in his career. He said he was going to play smarter. Quote, I'd rather steal 30 and play the whole season as opposed to trying to steal 70, injuring myself and missing the whole year. Braves general manager Alex Anthopoulos said, quote, we're going to make sure when he's back, he's full go and that he can be himself and play the game he plays. He's very competitive. He's a tremendous base stealer, and we're not going to have any restrictions on him at all, end quote. I'm up first. Should they have restrictions on Ronald Acuna Jr.? I read about a bunch about him today, and it sounds like he understands what he needs to do to stay healthy. So I don't think you should put restrictions on him, but I also don't think you should make him run a lot in the first part of the season. Let him build it back up. But he is great when he is healthy, and I hope that he stays healthy for the years to come. Chris?
Well, here's the thing that I don't get, and maybe I'll never get it. But Ronald Acuna Jr. stole 73 bases 2 years ago to lead the league. And then last year he got hurt. And so now we're going into this year and everybody's saying, well, let's make sure he doesn't steal too many bases so that he stays healthy. Okay? What has happened between then and now? And the then being when Ricky Henderson stole 83, 100, 56, 130, 108, 66, 80, 87, 93. You get my thing? Ricky Henderson was stealing that many bases every year. Did he ever get hurt?
I think Ricky was a special person.
Okay. Well, I mean, so that's what you're telling me? I mean, Kenny Lofton, 66, 70, 60, 54, 75. Led the league 5 straight years. Don't remember him getting hurt. That's all I'm saying. I get it now. They talk about these players and they say, hey, you know, the wear and tear for stealing bases.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where was the wear and tear when Ricky Henderson was doing it? That's what I don't get. What has changed?
That's a good question.
I'm just saying.
That's a good question.
Because I agree with what they're going to try to do with Acuna. They're going to try to keep him to 30 or 40 steals so that he doesn't run himself into the ground. But why should he be running into the ground?
I think also 2 ACL injuries changes a lot for him.
Yeah.
Like, we have to take that into account, too.
Maybe that's what they're
Ricky
thinking
Henderson,
about.
I don't think ever had an ACL injury or anything like that. He had to come back.
If he
from.
did, they didn't know it, and he just kept
He
playing.
just kept
They rubbed
stealing
a
bases
little.
with the torn
No, in those
ACL.
days they just rubbed a little dirt on it, and you know,
that is true.
you spit in your palm. You go down like that, and you're out there. You know, no,
Ricky doesn't come out of games.
Ricky never came. Anyway, it is interesting to me. The stolen base numbers have gotten a lot lower, of course, than where they used to be, and I think a lot of the reasoning is because A, the analytics say don't try to steal, and B, they want these star players to stay healthy and don't want to risk them running too much.
Yeah.
But it's different than how it used to be. That's all I'm saying.
No,
Not
I
saying
get
it's better or worse.
No.
Just saying
It's a
different.
fair argument. It's a fair argument.
Number 3.
As you mentioned, Chris, Cooper Kupp was released by the Rams very unceremoniously, but he had no trouble finding his new team. He will be staying in the NFC West, and he will be playing for the Seattle Seagulls. He's from Washington, so this makes sense, and his contract is 3 years, $45 million, according to reports, which is an AAV of $15 million a year. Chris, do we see Cooper Kupp as a top 15 wide receiver by the end of the year?
Boy. Top 15?
Top 15.
I'm going to say no. Not that he's not going to be bad, though. I mean, I think Cooper Kupp's an excellent compliment to Smith and Jigba.
Yes.
I mean, Smith and Jigba seems like he's about ready for the breakout. I mean, he broke out last year. Now this year he's the clear number 1. There's no DK Metcalf. There's no Lockett. I think Smith and Jigba is going to be the next great one, you know. But Kupp's going to make it easier for Smith and Jigba because Kupp's going to have to be covered. It's interesting. Like, what were the Rams going to have to pay Kupp? Do you know?
Yes, it was. It wasn't about what they were going to pay him. It was about the penalties that they were going to have to.
I see.
It was going to count a lot against the cap.
More against
so
the
if
cap.
they were,
Okay.
It was basically paying the penalty was cheaper than keeping him.
Yeah, because he's getting $15 million a year with the Seahawks,
which is a lot of money for a wide receiver.
Yeah, he's still doing okay. I think it's a great pickup for Seattle. I do.
All right, I don't know about top 15, but I think he's going to be very effective.
Yeah,
he's perfect for their offense. He's perfect for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold could throw it underneath him all day.
You don't even have to get it into his hands.
No,
Cooper Kupp. You just get it near his body. I've not seen him ever drop a pass, and I mean ever is a long time, but I don't recall it happening. No.
Yeah. I was not happy about this because it's going to make the division that much harder, and the 49ers are going to finish last twice in a row.
Number 2.
The other reason you're going to have trouble covering Cooper Kupp because I don't think you have any cornerbacks left on the roster. Like, who's your kicker? What's that guy's name that
Jake
Debo
Moody.
hated? Yeah, Jake Moody's going to have trouble covering Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, I think so. Jake Moody hurt his ankle. He got his underwear. He got juked out of his underwear and sprained his ankle on a kickoff last year. That's how bad he is at tackling.
You better get some players. You will.
Yes.
I'm confident you will field the team next year.
I think so.
Right.
I mean,
At
quality
the
of the team, we don't know.
Yeah, at the moment, I don't know.
The Browns spent a fortune to make defensive end Myles Garrett happy, but there's some reports that paints Garrett as someone who acts entitled and doesn't take that kind of responsibility for leading the team that a great player should. Anonymous source said it's well known within the Browns that Garrett is frequently late to the facility. He has skipped mandatory team activities on multiple occasions, writes Jason Lloyd of The Athletic. So it's also very confusing as to why the Browns moved heaven and earth to get him under contract for the foreseeable future. So I'm up first. If true, would you still give him the bag if you're the Browns? It's easy for me to say no. I'm not dealing with people like this. I hate when we enable bad behavior. I hate when we say, okay, you're good enough at football. You don't have to do everything else everybody does. Isn't the team supposed to be together? It's not supposed to be singular. I knew we were going to run into the end of the hour, but this is, if true, come on, Myles Garrett. You're making way too much money to not show up to things and show up late. Just get there on time. It drives me insane. Insane! Chris, you want to answer on the other side?
Now I'm going to retire into quarters again, and I'll come out with my ruling after the break.
Oh, yes, okay.
Go get my hair on. And then
yes.
I'll let you know what I think. When we come back, a final half hour today, a little special half hour of Gwynn and Chris. Stay with us. Welcome back to it. 6 o'clock. Normally time for the Scraby Chronicles. Not tonight. I'm going to stick around here with Scraby for the next half hour, 20 minutes or so before we get to Padres exhibition, spring training baseball. The Padres, the last place Padres, take on the Texas Rangers, is it?
Yes, Texas
tonight?
Rangers, yes.
Nick Pivetta will be on the mound tonight for the Padres.
I'm looking forward to that.
He has pitched great.
He has.
Yeah, I mean, on a team where it doesn't matter, but nevertheless, Cease, King, Suarez, Adam, Waldron, basically every one of them has been shelled all spring.
I mean, Matt Waldron was pitching a minor league game today or yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to get the number 5 spot now. I thought it was Waldron's to lose, and I think he might have lost it.
He may have.
Yeah, we'll see how that all turns out. But Pavetta's been on point so far. He'll get the start against the Rangers. Coming up at 6:30. Earlier today, they had the, what'd they call it?
Spring breakout.
You say it that well.
I wish I was a surfer.
Spring breakout.
Even though I despise the
Have you
ocean.
ever surfed?
I have.
Once? Twice, or a lot?
No. For a full summer, I told my friend I was going to give it a go.
Yeah.
And we went like 3 or 4 times a week.
Wow.
And I was terrible. And
never got good.
The whole sand and ocean creature thing kind of
sand and ocean creature thing.
Yeah. What happens when you go to the ocean? You get a bunch of sand, and then there's sea creatures.
All right. Well, there's two sporting things that I've only done once a piece in my life. One is skiing, and the other is surfing. And the time I did surfing, I was actually on Waikiki Beach, which you'd think would be at least a good place to do it.
Yeah, but it seems crowded.
I don't know. I was doing it, in the morning on a weekday.
Were you doing like one of those classes?
No, just had some friends. We were there for an Aztec football game, and we had a day off.
Oh,
and I had some friends there, and we all went surfing. And I stood up a couple of times, and not for long, but I did stand up a couple of times. And I will tell you, when you stand up on a surfboard,
feels great.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like I did it long enough to realize, okay, I can see why people do this.
Yeah, this is fun.
Right. I can see why people are into it.
It's really hard, though. I give you surfers a lot of credit.
Yeah, these guys guys and gals make it look very easy.
Yes.
All right. So anyway, spring breakout game was earlier. The A's beat the Padres 5-2, despite a couple of hits from Ethan Salas and a double from Leo DeVries. College basketball, real quick. Told you earlier that the Aztecs don't want any upsets in these conference tournaments. Because right now, according to Joe Lunardi and Jerry Palm, both bracketologists, the big ones.
Yes.
They both have the Aztecs in as last 4 in.
That makes me feel better.
There's not a lot of room to go down.
Not a lot.
And the way you can go down is if teams that aren't supposed to be in the tournament steal a bid. One of those teams could be North Carolina, because they're on the bubble too. Now they're playing Duke
and
in
they're
the
North
semifinals.
Carolina, so they just have that brand.
That doesn't hurt, but they're not having a very good season. But they're playing Duke tonight. Now Duke's without Cooper Flagg, and I don't know if that enters into it. But Duke had about a 30-point lead in this game, and now it's down to 6 with 3:41 remaining. Duke needs to hang on.
Yes.
You do not want North Carolina to put on its resume a win over Duke.
No.
That is not going to help the Aztecs.
No.
These are the kinds of things we're rooting against. There was one more thing I wanted to mention. Oh, I did. Before you finish up the Big Five. Minwoo Lee, Akshay Bhatia.
Okay.
If anyone knows what sport those two guys play.
Golf.
Yeah, thanks. They are golfers. And they are leading the Players' Championship at 11 under par, but 1 shot behind at 10 under. San Diego State's own J.J. Spawn.
Nice.
So come on, J.J.
Yes.
He's 1 shot back going into the weekend. That's a big event on the tour, not to the
5th major.
It's the 5th major. You like to try to tell me. Charlie Hoffman shot a 7 under 65 today.
That's amazing.
Attaboy, Charlie.
Do you know how, Charlie is not shy on the show. He calls himself old from time to time.
Well, he is. He's 48.
Okay, well, I don't want to call him old.
I
but
know,
do
I
you
know.
realize how long that golf course is and how how good 7 under is on that golf course?
Yes.
That's incredible.
You don't have to tell me how good 7 under is even on the easiest course ever devised.
Just 48-year-old Charlie Hoffman
insane.
playing some great golf this year.
Great job, Charlie. He's 5 under. He's in like 10th or 11th place, but hey, I mean, he's having a hell of a tournament.
Do you think I'm on good enough terms with Charlie to text him over the weekend and say, hey, cheering for you?
Text him, say, yeah, we're keeping an eye on you.
I will.
And I would text him and say, hey, Chris and I were talking about. No, I'd say, hey, look, your 65 was terrific. We were talking about it. And, ask if he wants to come on next week and, talk about things.
Yeah.
We always like having Charlie on.
Of course. I want to get him in studio one of these days.
Yeah. I think he actually kind of wants to come in.
Yeah.
Studio,
we should have him come in and do as long as he wants.
All right. Duke 70, North Carolina 66. Wow. It's getting too close there. 3:41 left. Let's finish up the Big Five.
Okay.
And I think we stopped off at you turning it over to me.
Yes.
For a comment.
Yes.
On
Myles Garrett.
The
rumors are that he shows up late. He doesn't respect people's time. He doesn't come to mandatory events. So my question was, if you were the Browns and this is true, would you still give him the bag?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Because the rumors basically are that he's a diva. Yeah. Right? He needs special treatment.
He made that whole deal about how he wanted to be traded. I'm never playing for the Browns again, no matter how much money they give me.
That part didn't bother me. But what bothers me is any report of anybody wasting somebody else's time.
Yes.
Like making a whole group of people wait just because you think you're kind of above everybody.
Yeah,
and just whoever you are, you're never above them.
Yep.
When people ask me, Chris, why don't you like Juan Soto? His diva-like behavior with the Padres is why I don't like him. I will not change that. I don't like this either, which is what you said.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think we have to be a little more careful before we make a final determination on Myles Garrett, because this is reported.
It is.
And how are we ever going to know? Like with Soto, kind of had people connected with the team that I was able to, hear these complaints about. So I believe those. Myles Garrett, I'm not ready to bury the guy yet.
I'm not either.
Because I don't know. But if it's true, then you're right. I don't like this stuff. I hate this kind of behavior by anybody in any position. I don't care who you are. You meet the same people going up as you do coming down.
You do.
So treat these people with respect on the way up. The way you'd like to be treated.
I'm 100% with that. Okay. I like Myles Garrett, but this was a surprise for me to read. I did not hear
I didn't expect it. Yeah, didn't expect it. Browns obviously don't care. And the other thing is maybe he was late for one meeting and that was just a one-off, and now they're writing about it. Some guys are, miss a meeting once in a while. They're late. But if you're consistently, holding the bus up for 15, 20 minutes because you got to do your hair, then I've kind of had it with you.
All right. I'm with you, Chris. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Here's something that I found on the internet today. Actually, Kyle Glazer, our guy formerly of Baseball America, he tweeted this out. And it was from the Miami Marlins, so the minor league team. They put out a post saying, Miami Marlins practice squad opportunity. Are you a retired collegiate or professional baseball player looking to stay in the game? The Miami Marlins are offering a unique opportunity to join our practice squad at our spring training complex in Jupiter. Why join? Because you'll compete against our low A affiliates, stay sharp, and challenge yourself against professionals. Gain exposure. Showcase your skills in front of Marlins coaching staff and player development personnel. Pathway to the pros. Okay. This program is designed for former high-level players looking to further develop their skills, whether pursuing blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Everybody online thought this was fake. This is not fake. Is this a good idea, or is this just the Marlins being embarrassing?
What Marlins?
The Miami Marlins.
The Major League Miami Marlins?
No. The
So they have a minor league team that's called the Miami Marlins also?
Yeah. Yeah, because
they want just regular Joes that have had some baseball experience to come play against their minor leagers?
High level baseball experience.
So why do I think why would it be a bad idea? I don't hate it.
Why is a team? I mean, this is crazy. Why would a team want randoms off the street. Why, when there's already like 1,000 baseball players at Major League Baseball that you could choose from? I think this is the Marlins being cheap.
Oh, you see, yeah. Well, how is it being cheap?
Because they're literally not going to have to pay these people more than a couple bucks because they're not professionals.
So who would they play if they weren't playing these guys? Just like inter squad games?
I guess so. They're like a scout team.
I will say this: scout teams are pretty important in basketball.
Yeah.
Let me just say that. In fact, I don't know if you know this. The Aztec women's team has about 7 or 8 Aztec students, guys, that can play.
Wow.
And they come play against these ladies in practice every day.
Do they hold their own?
No. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, no, the women crush them, right?
No.
Oh.
No, these guys can play.
Okay.
And the women, first of all, they get a level of physical play that they don't normally see in games. So, but secondly, no, these guys can really play, and they can block their shots, and they can,
Yeah.
But these guys who do this, they're the scout guys on this team. They were all in Vegas for the tournament.
Okay.
And they're just as part of them winning as anybody.
That's awesome.
Scout teams are huge, especially for women's basketball.
That's
so I
really
didn't know if you
cool.
knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a break. And then we got one little final segment here to get you ready. Duke's hanging on by 3, final minute against North Carolina. And Gwynn and Chris trying to hang on until the start of tonight's Padre game. Chicago Bulls have a major problem. We'll tell you what it is when we return.
Gambling problem? Call 1.
A couple of items before we send it down back to Peoria for Padres baseball tonight. Gwynn and Chris, 97.3 The Fan. Gwynn and Chris will be in Peoria the whole show, Monday and Tuesday. Scraby and I are heading down there Sunday. Not together. That would be a bad idea. But we will both arrive there, and we will join Tony Gwynn Jr., and we will have all kinds of Padre interviews.
Yes.
Monday and Tuesday on the program from Peoria. We'll be visiting with everybody.
Yes.
And, whoever we can visit with in the time allotted. So make sure you're tuned in Monday and Tuesday for our Peoria shows.
You know what's a good thing? Is that we got a guy who's on good terms with a lot of these guys.
Yeah, he tends to be able to get us an interview if need be.
I'll be like going around trying to figure out who I want to talk to and get the guts up, and Tony goes in the locker room and comes out with like Manny Machado.
Well, you got to respect Anthony Quinn.
But now that Joe Musgrove and I are so cool,
you might be able to just have Joe do your dirty work for you.
Yeah, Joe also was a pitching coach today. He went out to the mound and gave some advice.
About that.
That's
heard
kind
about
of awesome.
All right, so that's Monday and Tuesday live from Peoria. Don't miss those. Next Friday, Scraby, it looks like, will be at Dave & Buster's.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening.
And he's going to need your support.
Yes.
Because I will probably be with the women's basketball somewhere.
When are you going to find out?
Sunday night.
Sunday night, they will tell you. Okay.
No, they have the selection show Sunday night for the women's basketball.
Saying, like, when will you know when you're leaving? Are they leaving 2 days before the game?
Yes.
Okay.
They will leave.
If they play Saturday, you're leaving Thursday.
Correct.
Okay.
If they play Friday, we'll leave Wednesday. That is how I understand it.
Okay.
But either way, next Friday, unfortunately, because I was really looking forward to being at Dave & Buster's and the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen.
But Dave & Buster's, 6 a.m. through 7 p.m. All of the shows are going to be there. Just come on down. I guess they're going to have a breakfast burrito building bar for the morning show.
How am I missing this?
You can, I don't quote me on this, but I believe it's like you go down there, you can buy the breakfast burrito, you can make it yourself, and you also get like a free credit card as well for the games.
And I'm missing this.
All
in the name of work. All right, that's next Friday. So come on down to Dave & Buster's. So a couple of things to circle on the calendar. Monday, Tuesday, don't miss our shows from Peoria. Next Friday, work yourself free. At some point, you got day, afternoon, night, the whole day to get to Dave & Buster's in Mission Valley.
Now, I was told that because the Scrabinators are out there, they need to show up by the sales staff. The sales staff said Scrabinators need to show up. And I appreciate if Scrabinators
get the Scrabinators out there, and I appreciate you having the Scrabinators tune into the Aztec game the other night.
They did.
Had a big audience on the internet.
Are you still living that high?
I don't know, but feels good.
Yeah, of course.
It was a great win. It was exciting, but no, I'm kind of I'm a little back to normal on that.
All right.
Let's see. Got a couple of minutes left. Tomorrow, you and I. Again, not together because that would be a bad idea. But tomorrow, you and I are both going to the SDFC match.
Yes, we are.
Against Columbus Crew.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that.
I am looking forward to it.
Yeah. 7:30 tomorrow night at Snapdragon. How much do you suppose they have in the way of tickets available for that? Probably not many.
Let me see.
I'm going to think not many just because, the first game was sold out.
It was definitely.
Second game's got to be really close to sold out, I would think.
I would think so with the way the team's playing right now.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find those by the end of the show.
All right. See if you can find that.
Some dramatic stuff going on.
This is ridiculous. Are you kidding me? Duke led by 24 points in the second half.
How is that not traveling on North Carolina? That took like 9 steps.
They don't call traveling anymore. Duke now leads.
True.
Duke now leads by 1. And North Carolina is going to shoot 2 free throws with 4 seconds left to take the lead. So this means basically that the North Carolina is going to get into the tournament.
So how important is Cooper Flag? Very important.
Well, yeah, you would think. But a victory over Duke on your resume, North Carolina is going to get into the tournament.
There's some tickets, but there's not as many as you would
for
think.
For the
SDFC tomorrow night.
All right.
But not as many as you would think.
While we wait for these free throws, real quick story for you. Chicago Bulls, 6 championship banners were pulled out of the rafters and have now been removed from the United Center in Chicago.
Someone stole them?
No.
Oh,
The Bulls have them, but they're not displayed any longer. First free throw, Carolina. No good. Wow, missed it.
Gotta make your free throws, buddy.
Make your free throws. Now they got to get this to tie. 4 seconds left. I'm going to do play-by-play. No, you do play-by-play. I already know I can do it.
4.1 seconds left. Everything comes down to this. North Carolina makes this free throw. They tie it up with 4.1 left. I already said that, I know.
Yeah.
He goes into his windup. He shoots, and there's a lane violation.
Wow.
A lane violation on North Carolina.
There certainly was. That wipes out the free throw.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen that.
I don't think I've ever seen it under those circumstances.
So they get no points.
No.
And there's still 4.1 seconds left.
But now Duke has the ball.
Duke has the ball.
The kid made the free throw, but it was a clear lane violation. It wasn't even close. The North Carolina guy stepped in there.
Oh, my goodness. Were you proud of me that I said lane violation?
Well done. Well done. Anyway, the Bulls had to take their banners down because some rock group, Pyrotechnics, almost destroyed them the other night.
Disturbed.
So the Bulls are taking the banners down, and they're not going to be displayed the rest of the season. Yeah, the band is called Disturbed. You're right. And they had all kinds of pyrotechnics, and the banners almost caught on fire. Stay tuned. Padre baseball next. We'll see you in Peoria Monday.
College basketball fans,